I got tackled to the absolute ground. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Everyone starts screaming, just like insanity. Everyone starts screaming. Someone goes up, and is like, what count are you at? And the nurse looks at us and she goes, I don't even.
What is poppin', y'all? We are back with another episode of the Squid Game Aftermath podcast. I am your host, DeAndre from Squid Game Season 1, and we are talking about Season 2, of course. I skipped that part this time. And we are here to talk about talk to the players to get their point of view on what really went down in the games. So today I am joined by a very iconic guest, man. This guy, he's been the talk of the town for such little time. He was on the show, and it's time for him to speak on what was really going down. So, I'm curious about this one. Almost every podcast y'all have listened to this point has, if there was a O, has named this character as one of the loudmouths, I guess you could say, from their mouths, not mine. But without further ado, I'm gonna get yapping. Mr. Player 332 Jacket was popping.
What's going on? Thanks for having me, DeAndre. I'm excited because actually, I've just like quit out on the noise and I haven't watched any podcasts at all. I watched one. Someone sent it to me. They're like, "Oh, this person's supporting you." I'm like, probably the one of like very few. Just kidding. I think we've cleared the air a little bit since that time. I'm happy to hop into what happened. I'm happy to tell you about what I did to prepare. Whatever you think, man. I've been waiting for this day.
Hey, I've been waiting too, Coach. I'm glad it's finally here. We got some fun days ahead, but we got to focus on the now. But first off, I'm gonna go through your player profile. I don't know if you ever looked at it, but the player 332. So, King of Cocktails. Explain.
So it's so funny. When I was at the game, I really wanted to keep a low profile. Actually, I started a company called Craft Mix. It's now the number one cocktail and mocktail on Amazon. We work with Walmart, this and that. But when I was at the game, I wanted to keep a really low profile. So I was telling everyone I was just unemployed, because I don't want people judging. Like people think, oh, you're, a founder and a CEO, you've got it all made, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. I started dead ass broke in my kitchen. I had nothing. I couldn't even pay my rent. I was a broke ass bartender. I got fired from my job, and that's how I started this all. We make little cocktails and mocktails that come in packets. I took 6 months getting drunk every single day just to ensure that these tasted exactly like the cocktails I used to make at my bar. But yeah, I wanted to keep a low profile. Like people think, oh, if you're a founder of a company, like this guy doesn't deserve the money, but people like me have struggles too. Like sometimes we have ups and downs with our company. We want to hire more employees. We don't have enough capital to keep up with demand. We got bills as well. And like this year, we got absolutely screwed by our biggest business partner, which is why I needed the money and still do. So, though we have awesome business blowing the fuck up on TikTok and Amazon and all the rest, I got problems too, people.
Look now, he started from the bottom. Now he's here, y'all. Look, as a business owner myself, I understand. It looks all nice from the outside. Oh, you doing this? You going to these events? You got this going on, but there is a lot of stuff that people do not see. There's a lot of stuff, and it could all crumble kind of low key just like that if you really not taking care of your business. And so definitely I think if you started your own business, it's not like you inherited this business or anything like that. So you definitely have earned it, and I highly respect that. I mean, it's kind of similar to the poker player instance thing to a degree, because he has a similar story where he didn't have nothing and now he got second. I mean, how would you compare those two or no?
I love poker. Poker is so much fun, but maybe I don't know. I never judge anyone based on, whatever their background is. Also, like that's what's so painful to me is because I always feel like the people who are most prepared or try the hardest or are, the most deserving, regardless of your background, should have that chance. And I think a lot of times that's my biggest downfall is, when I tell you about what I did to prepare for this game, you can try so freaking hard at something and be the best at something and just not even get a chance. And that's what breaks my heart in life is like I feel like the people who train the most should be the most deserving, regardless of whether rich, poor, gender, background, whatever. It's like give them that's how I run my company. I never judge anyone who's applying the job. I give the person who wants a job the most because I know they're going to do the best job.
Facts, man.
But
Facts.
not
Spoken
to
like a
get into
true
business.
CEO.
Business is
Hey,
boring. Squid Game's exciting, man. So we don't have to get into
facts,
that
facts,
right now.
facts. Working on a Friday. Aries. I don't. When is that?
That's actually the funniest part of my whole entire bio because I actually don't really know my birthday, and everyone's always like, "What do you mean?" So like, I don't know my actual birthday, so I don't know what sign I am. I think I put that in like the bio. I was like, I don't really know my birthday, so I don't know, and they just pick Aries for me. So
So
like
how do you not know
all
your birthday?
it's just a
Wrong.
weird, I don't know. It's another story for another day. But like, it's funny because I'm not joking. 200 like of friends and people that like know this about me hit me up. They're like, "Oh, Aries, huh?" Because there's been a lot of speculation my whole life. Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, this and that, and so I'm like, I just don't know. So when they put that, it was like so frustrating because I got hundreds of messages just about that. I'm like, guys, I was on Squid Game. Who cares about my birthday?
This is the only information we got before the show started. So I look. I went through all the players, every single one. Did a little deep dive on it. The video got kind of messed up, but maybe I'll do it again. We'll see. But and I mean, if I knew somebody and I'm like, oh, your birthday's here. I mean, I'm not really paying attention to the birthdays to be honest. Like whatever, except Scorpios. That's it. Okay, well
I've
we're
had
gonna
like
figure.
I've had like 100 DMs like my Aries twin, I'm voting for you to come back. I'm like, thank you, my Aries twin.
Hey, he's playing the game outside the game. I like it. I like it. This man's in California, and you just had mentioned you're about Forbes 30 under 30, founder of Craft Mix, started broke in my kitchen with nothing but a dream, like Martin Luther King. I remember going through I remember going through your name, your page, because I remember your name was unique. And then he said nothing but a dream. I thought he was about to start rapping Biggie Smalls.
A dollar and a dream, exactly, man. If you
I
want, I
like it.
freestyle it, but you might have to charge
Uh-oh.
for that one.
Facts, facts. Y'all gotta vote him for next season if you want to see more freestyling and stuff like that for the love.
I'll do
Well,
it.
Jacket, can you tell me why did you decide to apply for Squid Game, the challenge season 2?
This is actually a crazy story, and I haven't told really anyone this. I loved Squid Game when it came out. I was addicted. I didn't watch the challenge right when it came out, but in January of 2024, which is around the time when it came out, I was supposed to go on this crazy trip to Australia. I roll up to the airport. They say your visa's been denied because you're a felon. And I said, you got the wrong guy. And they said, absolutely not. Go home and reapply for a visa and tell them it's wrong. So I went home and I was super pissed off because I had been planning this like insane Australia backpack trip for months to go meet my friends. I was like, hey guys, I got denied. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean? So then I was so pissed off. I went home, I reapplied for the visa. I was like, damn, well, now I have nothing to do. And I turned on Squid Game, the challenge. And instantly I was like hooked. I like stayed up till like 4 a.m. that night watching like 5 episodes. And then 2 days later, my visa got approved. I'm not, I kid you not. I was backpacking around Australia and like when I'd stay at my hostel, I would go out like till like 3 a.m. out at the bars and I would come home and like pull a slice of pizza out from underneath my hostel like bunk bed and put on Squid Game the challenge. I was that addicted to watching the show. So when I came back from Australia, they actually ran this thing at like Squid Game the Trials in LA. I went, my friend won the first time. I was like, fuck this. I can't let just him win. I went back a second time solo. I went back a second time solo. And me and this like I'm not joking, from the second that I stepped in the room till the second that I walked out, I was in first place. So I was like, oh, I'm onto something here. And yeah, you got a priority application or something like that from winning the chat, like the trials, which was here in LA, like the little games they let everyone play if you sign up. And I don't know if that actually affected me getting a callback or not, but hey, that's how I ended up there.
That's lit. That's lit, man. You said I'm not gonna take no for an answer. Y'all, I'm gonna knock on this door and somebody is gonna pick up. And so
Absolutely.
I've had this question asked a couple times already. Can you explain your specific casting process? I guess involves of like how many interviews you had and how many, how long it took for you to realize you were on the show.
All right. So I think it was around May or June. I woke up at like 8 a.m. to like a phone call. Usually I have my phone on silent because as a business owner, I get 1,000 texts a day, 1,000 DMs. I also get so many junk calls. And here's just to piss off the telemarketers, I always answer my phone like this. Hello. And they're like, "Hello, is this jacket.tann bomb?" And I was like, "Yes," because I always just like try and play like a card, like just to be annoying to the telemarketers. Like, "Well, hey, this is blah 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 from Studio Lambert at Squid Game," and I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh my bad." I just answer the phone like a troll because I get so many sales calls. So they're like, "Yeah, we really like your video. We want you to have an interview." I had the interview, and they're like, "Yeah, do you also know anyone else that would maybe be interested in applying?" And actually, I don't know. They said to probably keep everything I ever said confidential, but I don't think this is too pricey. So anyway, I was like, yeah, my like super bitch insane ex-girlfriend would love to apply. She loves reality shows. And they're like, "Oh my God, what's her number?" They called her immediately, and then we're like, "Oh my God, you guys are perfect because you hate each other so much." And so we were going through the casting process together. I think she didn't hear back after like one step in the process versus they kept progressing me along. And I think it was like end of August or early September, they called me and they're like, "Hey, like you're one of the first people we're casting for the show." And I was like, "Oh my God, seriously, I'm honored." I was in Japan at the time, and I was like, I woke up my friend, we were in our hostel, and it was like, because UK time and Japan time are like ridiculously off. I shook my friend in the bed. I was like, "Dude, they're fucking calling me to be on." Well, actually, no, I didn't say that. I said they're I got really good news. I was like, I got really good news, man.
That
Yep,
is
that's how it
hilarious. That's
happened.
cool, man. That's lit, man. That's awesome, man. I mean, you was in a whole nother country when the stuff went down, and you had to just carry that with you for a while. So, you get through the process and whatnot. You finish it out, and it's your last night in California before you get on the plane to head to London. Tell me what's going through your head.
Wait, I actually want to back up
Okay, we can back
because
up.
when I got the first call, actually, even before I got the first call, while I was watching it in Australia, watching the show, I was like, I know I'm going to be on the show. And that's when my training started. My training didn't start when they said you were confirmed for the show. My training started when I got home from Australia. Then when I got the first call, that's when I went into hyper mode, like doing research on every freaking game imaginable. Like, I don't know if this is a good time to tell you how I prepared. Are you
It's a
cool
great
with
time. It's a great time.
perfect? So for red light, green light, I know a lot of the cast members from season one are like, I would rather run a marathon or do anything else in the entire world than ever do red light, green light again. I've already done it 5 times. I literally would create an audio file. I would put in my headphones. It was a six. Well, I started with 4 hours, then I went to six, then I went to eight, and I did eight 3 times. I would go to an empty field in Los Angeles, an empty soccer field, at midnight when it was dark, because then otherwise people, the first time I did it, people would drive by and scream out their car, "Go home, weirdo." So then I'll have to send you a picture. I printed out a sheet of paper, taped it to my hoodie, and it said, "Do not bother me, I'm training." And so I had an audio file I would put in my earbuds. It would sing the song, I would sprint, and then I would get into place. And the audio file had randomized from about 35 to 45-minute holds of silence. And then it would sing the song again. I would run, stand into place, and I would go not just down the soccer field once, I would go to the end of the soccer field and then back because I knew that was about 1.5 times the size of the 328-foot airplane hangar that they had in season one. And I wanted to be over prepared. The last thing about this audio file is randomly through this 8 hour, most of it silence, it would play machine gun sounds on full blast to ensure that I wouldn't flinch. Because I knew they were going to be waving drones in my face, people's squibs were going to be popping all over me. I was that overprepared. Now,
This man was coming through. Okay, I like it.
think about that, but for every game that's ever been played on Squid Game, plus every Korean game in existence, plus every American game in existence. I read a interview with the director and creator of Squid Game, and he was like, I always wanted to put in Gongi into my show, but Netflix said it was too Korean and an American audience wouldn't understand it. This was before season two came out, so I said, okay, I'm ordering that. I looked up every game every Korean kids game. I ordered Jeggy, I ordered Spin Top, I ordered Bisok Cheki, which is the throwing rock. I ordered every Korean game in existence, even before I was confirmed for the show, even before season two of the drama came.
Wow. This man was on top of it. So, so you was able to basically master all these games too, right?
Absolutely. Like Dalgona, this is another story. I flew to Korea to get legitimate Dalgona. I ordered Dalgona from probably 8 to 10 different bakeries because each one has a different recipe. There are some that I could finish in about 45 seconds. There were some that took me about 5 minutes to finish because of how, or 5 to 10 minutes because how thick the cookie was. And I knew that just practicing one bakery wouldn't necessarily give me a true feel of what it might be like because I don't know what type of cookie they're going to make and they're all not perfectly even. I also tried so many different shapes, like a sun, a little bit, a heart, a flower, because I didn't know what shape I was gonna get. Umbrella my ass, bro. I will do umbrella in my damn sleep.
Me too at this point. And look now, me too at this point. Look, you can't talk about that over here. That's crazy though, man. That's insult. So how would you practice for tug of war then?
Okay, so here's the thing, and like I'm not gonna give up all my secrets, but like every single game has like a probability analysis. So even like warships or battleship warships for copyright purposes, not to quote our social media, but watch our social media and you'll get it, copyright purposes. Anyway, warships has a very designed, perfect way to play it. So does Connect 4. So does almost every children's game imaginable because they're very simple games. Like, for example, Connect 4, if you go first and you play perfectly, you can never lose. If you go second and play perfectly, you can lose, but there's actually, I prefer to go second because I've memorized the exact way to win playing second. I was actually just in Thailand, and what they do in Thailand is they have these ladies sitting outside of the bars with a Connect Four board, and they say, "Oh, come play with me." Loser buys 2 drinks, and they're like Connect Four masters. That's all they do all day long. And me, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let me." Oh, I never played this game before. Beat them like that, and they're like, "What?" They're like, "What? What? What?" I was like, "You're buying me a drink now." They're like, "No, no, no." I was like, "Yeah, you're buying me a drink," because they never lose. So the only game that doesn't have a probability to it and is pure luck is shoots and ladders. And like I did probability on everything, on rock paper scissors, on battleship, on checkers, on chess, on there's Korean games called Nori that I've there's one called Cham Cham Cham, that's a psychological game. I have played all of these games extensively. I trained for like
This man
over a
was
thousand hours, or maybe 500 to 1,000 hours.
this man
I
was in a
probably went through
hyperbolic time
200
chamber.
Del. Yeah, I know. I got no sleep that last year.
So when you were training, what would you tell like if your friends was like, "Hey, you want to do something or you meet up or anything like that?" and you're like, "Nah, I can't." What would like did they ever suspect you was training or something like that or like how'd that go down?
So they just thought I really liked Squid Game because I ordered a lot, and they just thought I really liked Korean culture because I ordered a lot of Korean games. And just like they thought I just loved kids games. They'd be like, "Hey guys, how about a game night tonight? Let's play, games." And then so like I'd roll up with like Ute Nori and they'd be like, "The fuck is this? You throw 5 wooden sticks in the air and go Ute Nori and then they bang on the ground." It's like a Korean version of Sorry. They'd be like, "Damn, why are you so good at this weird spin top thing?" Check my Amazon history, bro. I bought Jaggy, Gongi, Spin Top, Bisochiki before season 2 came out because I did the research. I hit up a Spin Top influencer. I think his name's Miguel, LA guy. Really cool. I just texted him. I was like, "Hey," or DM'd him. I was like, "Hey, I'm really interested in learning how to get really good at this Spin Top. Can you give me some tips?" There is no one on my cast that can do the Spin Top. I will absolutely fucking guarantee you that.
Wow. This
No
man is
one.
he says step up to the plate and I'm gonna hit a and I'm gonna make sure you get struck out and I'm gonna hit a home run just like the what's his face on the Dodgers. You know who I'm talking about.
Otani.
Shohei Ohtani, man. He said I'm
Yeah.
Ohtani in Squid Game. That's wild, man. Well, look, kudos to that, man.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah, I put a lot of time and effort. I would send the production team videos of me doing all 5 pentathlon games from season 2 in under 2 minutes myself. And I would be like, "Look, there's no one more ready than me." And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes moving along, things just come down to chance, and no matter how prepared you are, sometimes you just don't get the chance to prove yourself.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. You definitely would have been a high profile had you had things been a little different, but I'm sure you had a plan for that as well, which we'll get into. Lastly, about the games is how did you prepare for paper, rock, scissors? Just curious.
I'm not going to reveal my secrets. So even within my training, uh I studied a lot of deception detection, which is basically the art of detecting lies and body language. Like there's a science to everything. And so like I studied and read like books on deception detection and reading people. So based on playing rock paper scissors, you can read people a little bit. You can also understand. I'm not giving up my methods, but there's actually I I was playing this at just when I was in Vietnam. I was playing this. I was at a table with, all my hostel friends. I was like, okay, let's bet a drink every time we play rock paper scissors shoot. And I consistently beat pretty much everyone. It took just one guy lost 6 drinks to me in a row, and he was like, I'm not stopping until I win one drink back. And it took him 6 losses to finally get the seventh win. And that is one game that it's a lot of psychology. If you read a lot into understanding body language and also read a lot about deception detection, I feel like you'll have a good grip on understanding what people may choose and then understanding why they would choose it. So it's a very psychological game.
Wow. I'm learning more things every day, man. You put it probably would have beat my then at the end. You got some stiff competition. Well, that's amazing, man. Big kudos and big ups, and honestly, big praise to you working on all those hours and practicing the games and getting all prepared because somebody like me, I ain't practiced a thing, you know? I mean, I just depend on, the power of Wakanda to help me out and make sure that I get through. That's what I was preparing on. But alas, so it's the night before you head out to London. Tell me what's going through your head.
That's really all it came down to. I had no nerves. I had nothing. It's just like you said, Otani stepping up to bat. He's done it so many times, so there's nothing to be worried about. Like that's how I feel. I prepared so much that there are no nerves. I even prepared counting. I would sit literally here, I'm going to show you. I would stand here blindfolded. I'd stand here. My roommate would sit on the couch right there. And I would say, okay, we're going to do 200. I'd go like this, eyes closed, blindfolded. And I would literally slam my hand and my foot down when I'd count to 200. And I did that a ton of times. And he was like, God damn, man, you've gotten good at this. And I'm like, I have practiced every game in existence.
Wow, how the heck did you know how to practice counting? That is insane. I mean, so you looked up the games they do, and that's maybe one of the games, you know? I mean, that's what's up, man. I mean, I bet
Yeah.
your roommate was ready for you to go too.
Dude, they
He was like,
yeah,
"Can you
they're
go
hyped.
already?"
Yeah, they're hyped and they're like, all right, man, enough of this nonsense. What's that? Because they would hear me with a dokji smacking it against like the floor just at any hours of the night. I was just like, I'm perfecting this. But yeah, no, leaving the next day, I was like, I knew how I was gonna play the game. I had already like thought of how I'm gonna play the game. I'm not gonna reveal that I own a company. I'm just gonna tell people that I'm unemployed. And I knew that I was going my goal is I'm a really friendly person, so I want to befriend as many people as possible. I love people, and also I love helping people. So I even talked to one guy, Brad from your season, and I was like, dude, I like kind of want to just like help people proceed and or like continue through the games and like succeed at the challenges and the games as well, because that's what makes it more fun is us all going through together. And he was like, hell yeah, that's kind of what I did too. But you also have to be careful that you're not showing yourself off as too much of a threat. So I thought, being a balance of that and not giving away too many secrets while also helping people. I was just ready to go, man. I was hyped up and ready to go.
Yeah, it's a lot of preparation. It's time to get on the plane and get to action. And well, you get on the plane, you head over to London, you spend your time in the hotel, and it's the last night in the hotel before you go into the dorms. Tell me now how you feeling.
I could not sleep 1 minute. I was not hungry. I was not tired for the entirety of being in that hotel. We were there. I think I was there for 3 days. I was not hungry. I ate one spoonful of food a day. Food was not so great, but like
Snack.
I couldn't care less. And I was just practicing all day, all night. Like every time I was in my room, I was just practicing more things, reading through the piece of paper that I had printed out. I was just ready to go. I was ready to get in the game and ready to compete. Um, the weird thing is like we were able to talk, like all of our cohorts and everything were able to talk, which was a big contrast from your season where you guys weren't. So that caught me by surprise. But yeah, I was ready. I was just ready to go, man. I was like, let's do this already. I've been thinking about it for a year now.
Surprise is starting already before the game starts. That should have been a red flag right there. But you get out you go the next day, you get in, you go to the dorms, and when you get in the dorms, one, can you tell me how are you feeling walking in the first impression? And two, were you surprised to not be doing red light, green light right before you get into the dorms?
Yeah, we were very surprised. I remember people like there's this one guy, I'll never forget this dude. They're like, all right, everyone, it's time to go pee. He would go pee, and they're like, last chance to go pee. He would go pee, and then he was like, okay, everyone, we're like heading to the next room. Last chance to go pee. He would go pee. Like this guy peed like 8 times because he thought we were playing red light, green light. I was willing to piss my pants. I couldn't care less. This is something I had practiced, so I was so excited to play red light, green light. We also thought we were all playing red light, green light. Also, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not. They gave us thermals to put underneath our clothes, so we figured we were playing red light, green light, but then they took them back the day before the game, so I don't know what happened there, but we all assumed we were gonna play it, and I was ready to go. To me, that was my dream scenario because it was something that I practiced and we all thought was coming. Yeah.
So if you did do red light, green light, can you tell me your stance or what your stance would have been?
Absolutely. I practiced the exact amount of steps and the exact amount of beats to when you should stop. I also, within my audio file, I did, um, the dun 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 dun. I did that, but sometimes it would be sped up 2x, sometimes it would be 1.5x, sometimes it would be 1x speed. I did it at all these different speeds, so I would know when to stop depending how fast they played it, because I heard in your season they actually played it sped up sometimes. So I mean, my best stance, I'm gonna come at you from back here because I got a wide stance, but hands in the pockets, jump into place. That's it. Hands in the pockets, jump into place. I've tried everything. Sitting, laying down, like this, shuffling. I've tried every stance. That is the best stance, hands down. I've tried every stance. I've done it 5 times. Hands in the pockets, shoulders square, knees slightly bent. That's the best stance.
That
Shoulder
is the
length
best
apart.
stance. This man's giving a red light, green light seminar, y'all. He's giving a red light, green light seminar. Y'all take notes at home. That was not my stance. I was on the ground because I didn't trust my legs to stay up. But hey, I was willing to deal with the cold and
The other
didn't get
way,
frostbites.
last part of the red light green light seminar is I created games in my head to pass the time because if you're just counting down the seconds, you're gonna go insane. You're literally gonna go insane by the time 6 or 8 hours. I created games in my head. Okay, let me count all 50 states in my head. Okay, let me visualize every country I've ever been to. Okay, let me visualize all the different places I went on, all of the trips I've been on. Okay, let me visualize all the things I'm gonna need to do for work next week because that keeps your brain going. If you have nothing to think about, you are gonna crumble.
I'm still there. Cool. Well, you get in there. It's not, and you're talking with some people and whatnot. Who are some of the people you get close with when you first get in the dorm?
I don't want to reveal that in case I go back for season 3.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm
That's
I'm
fine. That's
pushing
fine.
heavy for the fan vote. I don't want people having any preconceived notions. But what I will say, I talked to the casting director maybe in June or July. They called me just, for a quick convo, and I told them I just wanted to say right now that you did a phenomenal job with casting because some of the people that I met are some of the most incredible people I've met in my whole life. Like they did such a good job with casting this season. Everyone was so freaking cool. I probably talked to 100 people or so. It's impossible to get to 456, maybe 100 or 150, something like that, through my couple days in the hotel and my day in the dorms. There are some really, really incredible people that, you know, never even got the time of day. So, but I know that's not possible. There's not, you know, enough
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, man. Shout out all the people, man. Shout out all the people we can't name out here today. So you get in the dorms, you're mingling, having a good time and whatnot. And soon the guards come out and they announce that, you'll have to get split into a red X and a blue circle. They said get in one or two lines. When they explain this, tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah. So the first funny part about going through the dorms is as you're walking through, if you even just like look at someone, make semi eye contact, they're like, "Hello, nice to meet you," and you start having a conversation like 456 times. It's pretty funny. But then when they said X and O, this is why I would have preferred your style of like, we're not able to have a conversation until we're in the dorms because all of my friends, we were all in like we'd get a colored necklace. That's your cohort. All of us had pre-agreed if they make us choose X and O, we're all gonna choose O because we want to play a game. Like we don't want to go home. X means you want to go home. O means you want to play a game. So we had already like we're like, should we pick 2 days before we're like, should we pick X? Should we pick O? We're like, no, we want to play a game. Let's all pick O. That was the
Facts. I
wrong
mean,
decision.
yeah, I mean, look, you get with some people, you made a plan, this is it. It's hard to go back from that because then you're already looked at like as a traitor. So you can't
Yeah.
really go against your word that early. I mean, it's the first day. And so you
Hmm.
pick O, and they explain that we need two people to come up, seating family members or friends or whatever, a couple. And the twins go up there, and then they explain then you guys leave the room. Yeah, no, you guys stay in the room. Sorry,
Yeah.
X's leave the room.
Yep.
And then they explain the rules to the game. It is counting. You got to count to 456 seconds. Whoever's closest without going over wins. Who's ever furthest away or goes over loses. So when you heard these rules, you practiced the games already. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah. So even before that, I know we're way over time, but a bunch of duos and pairs and couples went up. I, you know, I don't know how they landed on, the two twins that were chosen because I don't know, a bunch of people went up. And then, yeah, the exes left the room. And when they announced our room was so wild, they had to announce the rules to the game about 5 to 6 times because every time they said the test will be counting, you're gonna, everyone starts going insane. And then the speaker would come again. We're only gonna tell you the rules one more time. The test will be counting. You're gonna have to count to, and then everyone would go insane again. So our room was so wild. They had to tell us the rules 5 or 6 times. And while they were telling us the rules, they like stopped and they were like, okay, if anyone touches that podium, you're all eliminated. So don't touch that podium. The rule was definitely not if you go over, you're out. It's whoever's closest. So, for example, if you press it at 457, you will beat someone that presses it at 454. So
Okay.
it's just whoever's closest was the
Okay.
rule.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and then so I was sitting right next to this lady, Jean. Hilarious story there, but that's another story for another day. I think she's Korean, if I'm remembering correctly. And it was really funny because her name was Jean and my name was Jacket, so we were Jean Jacket. And I was like, damn, I portrayed her. I was like, this is something that I practice with my roommate a lot. And so she like grabbed me and she was like, you have to go tell him that now. Because as soon as the rules were finished, our room was already in chaos. Everyone was screaming, everyone was running around, everyone was trying to talk to the twin, everyone was screaming. And then so she was like, this guy, you hear the soundbite where she's like, he can count to 100 perfectly. He's practiced this or whatever she says. And that's when I go up and I look at the twin and I'm like, dude, you need to get it together. And he's like, no, no, no. He goes, we're going to pick three people, you, and you. And I was like, dude, look at me. You need to tell everyone to shut the fuck up and get the fuck back. And he was like, no, 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 no. We're going to have three counters this week. You, and pick a different three people. And I'm like, listen to me. You need to get everyone back. You need to have people come up who are confident in counting, then let's make an informed decision about who's going to count rather than picking three random people. This is too crazy. You, and you. And I'm like, dude. Then one guy was like, I need everyone. If you can hear me, clap once. And then people clapped, and that's what shut everyone the fuck up and got people to stand back. So then I was up there and I was like, look, let's listen to the people who are confident. And so this guy, he was like, bro, I do EDM beats. I'm confident. And I was like, all right, let me hear you count. He was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was like, nah, bro. I was like, dude, you're like 200 BPM. You're out. You're out. And then this
Ah.
other guy was like, all right, let's hear you count. And he's like, it's like an old man. He was like, one a Mississippi, two a Mississippi. I was like, bro, you're way too slow. I'm like, totally not you. And then the twins like, we're gonna have three counters. I was like, why three counters? That's irrelevant. And then someone's like, no, we're gonna have people all raise their hand one at a time, and then after 456, well, that's what we had all of these terrible theories. I'm like, no, none of
There's
this
only
makes any
half the
sense.
people in the room.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think that. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have everyone raise their hand. We're gonna be like, all right, we're at 228 now. Now what?
Who's next?
So we had all
Oh
these
my.
terrible plans. I was like, dude, you need to pick one or two people that you really trust in counting and let them count. That's the only way this is going to make sense. Other than that, you're going to have a lot of errors. And he was like, fine, you. And I was like, well, don't just pick me randomly. I am very confident. And I'm so methodical that I didn't want to be like, let me just do it. I'm going to do it. I practice this. I'm never that guy. I'm like, if you think I'm the most qualified person, absolutely, I'm going to do it because I know I can do this. But I still want to hear what other people have to say because I'm not the leader here. You are the leader here, even though I would love to be the leader here. So then this other girl comes up. She's like, you know, she was the other one who counted. She's like, I'm confident in doing this. It was like, let's hear you count. It's like, okay, you're pretty good. It was going to be me and her counting. And then at another moment, this guy came up screaming, you can hear the sound bite. He goes, this lady saves lives. This lady saves lives. And we're like, what? And she comes up and she's like, I don't know. And she was like already crying. And I was like, okay, let's hear you count. And she starts doing the heartbeat thing. And then he's like, no, this lady saves lives. She has to do it for us. And I go, I'm not confident in her counting. I really don't think she should be the one to count. I don't know how else to say this, but I don't think she should be the one to count. And he goes, here's what we're going to do. Because we're gentlemen and they're ladies, we're going to be gentlemen and let the ladies do it. And I fell to the ground because this is Netflix and I don't want to be that guy that's going to say, gender doesn't have anything to do with counting. I wasn't going to pick a political fight on national television. So I said, okay, if my services really aren't wanted here, though I've practiced this, okay, I'm going to sit down. But I turned to the other girl and I said, I don't trust her counting. I really don't. So I'm going to step back up when I hit 400 just to check in with you so you know where I'm at. I know where you're at. Take that information as you want. And then so the speaker comes on, start counting now. And I look at the nurse and I say, okay, start counting. And she goes, why? And I said, because they said start counting now. And she goes, really? And I said, yeah, they said start counting now, so you should probably start counting now. She's like, when? And I said, like right now, you should start counting. You should really start counting right now. And she goes, like right now? And I said, yes, just count, start counting, start counting. And the other girl, her name's Tasha, she's cool as hell. She got cut out for some reason, completely cut out. She's counting in her head like this. And she goes, okay, I'll start counting. And then the nurse starts out loud going, 1, 2, 3. And the girl standing right next to her, Tasha's like, shh, I'm trying to count. I'm trying to count. So not only did she start a solid 10 or so seconds late, she was counting out loud, distracting our other counter. And I was like melting. I was still counting on my own, sitting down, and the whole room is melting because they see how slow she's counting. So I'm counting, I'm like this on my leg, and I'm looking at the podium while counting, and I keep waving at the twin like that. And he keeps going, and I keep going. I point to her and I go, slow, slow. I did that about 10 times, and he kept just waving me off. He kept shushing me. The whole room, there was this one girl. Her eyes were popping 6 inches out of her head, drilling me in the face with her laser beams, like, she's going so slow. And everyone in the room was on the same, like, I fucking know. And then, so, oh yeah, she also said the thing before, like, if I don't get this right, do not blame me. And everyone was like, okay, sit down then. And it was too late. Um, so then I start going to the people next to me because I'm still trying to count and get his attention. I'm like, you need to tell them that she's going way too slow and not to trust her count because I've done this. I've played these games before and I know she's going way too fucking slow. And so I was still counting. The people sitting next to me, Alicia, funniest fucking girl in the world. I was just hanging out with her in Philly. She is so fucking funny and cool. She was like, slow. And then the twin was like, slow. And she was like, 100%. Oh no, I said,
Yeah.
100%. I was like losing my mind. I was like, why are they not listening to me? Please. Like, why is no one listening to me here? She's going slow and the whole room knows it, just no one will speak up. I'm that type of guy. If I see something wrong, I will speak up. So Then at 400, I get up. Me and Tasha had pre-agreed at 400. I'm gonna come just say that way she knows where I'm at. In case she's at 200, that way she knows she's a little bit off. Whatever. The room erupts into animal kingdom chaos where people are punching each other in the face. People are tackling each other. I get tackled, face smacked on the ground. They cut that part out. I got tackled to the absolute ground. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Everyone starts screaming, just like insanity. Everyone starts screaming. Someone goes up and is like, what count are you at? And the nurse looks at us and she goes, I don't even know. And I was like, that's when you see my face just like this. I'm like, oh, like I'm just like every drop of blood rushed to my toes. Because I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. I was like, no. And then we were so far off, and half the room was screaming, push it, half the room wasn't. I was like, I got to 400 at least half a minute ago. So I was like, fuck it, push it, push it, push it. Like, we don't even know where we're at. Just push it. Like, I counted to 400 before I got tackled, before, like, people interrupted, before the room went ballistic, before she said that. So I was like, fuck it, push it, push it, push it. Like, it's about time. They didn't push it for another 20
Ooh.
seconds or something like that. After I was like, you know, the Twitter was like, should I push it? Should I not? Should I push it? Should I
I
not?
know. I'm like, bro,
You gotta be definitive. And so he didn't push it for another 20 seconds after that, except for I'm like, fuck it, push it. Or I don't know what happened. We sit down,
oh.
and I'm like, and the best part is, I'm sitting there melting. And this girl, like a couple, I think her name was Brittany. I just saw her at Philly. She's like a couple seats down from me. She goes, jacket, jacket. And I go, what? And she goes, she said we're good, right? And I look back at her and I go, no, not at fucking all. We're not good. Then she looks back at
oh.
me and she goes, have faith. And I'm like, yo, faith in what? A miracle?
Hey, she said Jesus is somewhere in here. I don't know where though.
I know. So, so then,
Damn.
yeah, we knew we were beat. And then it's funny, like some girls, they're like, "Oh, come over here. We need to fix your squib. I mean microphone. We need to fix your microphone." And then she was like, so she went over, and like the one of the production people, their walkie-talkie like went off. It was like, "Prepare them to die" or something like that. And then the girl,
Y'all said order 66. He said, look now, Palpatine's in the building.
and then she came back to the crowd like this. Like she was like hysterically crying, like her eyes out, and we are like, "Oh my god!" I think her name was Simber. She's awesome too. And so then we started cracking. I just started cracking up. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "God damn!" So we all knew we were donezo. We were like praying for a miracle, but we all knew it was not good.
Man, that is crazy. We need a whole episode on the blue squad for red or for X squares and O circles, man, or X's and O's, man. We need that footage, Netflix. Release the tapes. Release the tapes. Please. I need it. That's a whole episode by itself. That should be a bonus feature. We need that on DVD.
I also don't like some other person asked me like, "How far are we off?" Netflix, you have my mic. You have this scene. Where I go, I there's so many good clips that they have where I go, and this could be I could be off. The show could be off. Who knows what happened? I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. I go, I think we're off by 10 to 12 seconds. I literally say that. I don't know if we were actually off by 12 seconds. We could have been off by 100 seconds for all I know. We could have been really severely off, but it's funny because I just randomly said that ish, and that's what the show says we're off by. I
Yeah,
said
that
we're
was, it
off
was
by at least 10 to 12 seconds. That's what I said.
That's hilarious, bro. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That is the funniest thing I have heard. I mean, between the I'm not confident, don't blame me, between the tackling, between the 100%. I
In
was crying
Philly,
when I saw that.
me and Alicia reenacted the scene, and it's hilarious. I'll have to send it to you. We reenacted the scene where they're like slow, and she goes slow. Like I love that, and I go 100%.
Oh, y'all was cooked from the get-go. Man,
Yeah,
405. What is going, or 205, whatever her number is. I don't know, the twin too. Like, why wasn't the twin even trying to count? He crashed out, you know?
yeah.
So,
I'm
you
whatever.
got
Some people are not like up for the moment, and I don't blame them. Like I don't blame her. We had a dysfunctional room. Like no hate. I wish I would have just said, "Let me fucking do it." I maybe I still would have lost. I could have totally still lost if they were truly off by 1 second, like they told us. Um, then maybe I would have still been off. To this day, I'm still so salty. Every day when I go on a walk, I put a timer on my phone and I walk and I count my head to 456 every single day. I've mastered it because I've done muscle memory. I've gone on a treadmill and put the exact thing on the treadmill, so I'm counting 2 steps for every 1 second. It's muscle memory now. I know how to do 2 steps for 1 second. That's how psychotic I am. I'll never be. I'm still salty. I'll never be able to give it up until I get another chance. I'll never. I will. I didn't get a chance, and I'll never be able to get over it until I do.
Netflix. Y'all got his number, his email, his address. You know where to find this man. Get
My
him on
social, my
everything.
astrology sign.
You got his mom's phone number, his emergency contact. Come on now, Netflix. What y'all doing, man? I know you got time and you still got to finish the thing, but you know what time, you know what y'all got to do, man. You know what you got to do. Just do the thing. And then we can really see this man at his full force. And you see this man go Super Saiyan on. So he only got to, like, I don't know, level 5,000 or something like that, and he needs to keep going.
I
Well, that
I yeah. I'll never be like I trained so hard and I had so much planned. And for me, it felt like imagine training for the Olympics for all of your life. You step to the starting line, they go, actually, no, you just can't compete. And you're like, why? And you're like, sorry, bad luck. And that's how I feel. It still hurts because I never got the chance to prove myself. And if I was given any chance to prove myself, I know I could outcompete. Not saying I'm the best, not saying I would win, definitely not at all. But that's my dream is to compete, and I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken that I didn't get that chance. So I'm pushing hard for the vote. I'm really
hey,
hoping.
you
I've
need that
gotten.
vote, man, or else you better get on Beast Games or something like that. I don't know.
Hey, they invited me to be on Beast Games. I said no because I wanted to go on Squid Game.
Hey, all respect, man. All respect on that. I love that. There were some Squid Game season one people on Beast Games, so
Yeah.
they didn't. Some of them want some money too. So you finish out the game. You guys all get blasted. Die in dramatic fashion. I say all y'all deaths are Oscar worthy. All y'all deserve Oscars for these deaths, man, because y'all giving it to me every single time. And you get that happen. You get back to the hotel. Now tell me how you feeling once you're back in the hotel.
Actually, dying wasn't when it hit me yet because I was standing next to that woman, Jean, and she was inconsolable. She was hysterically crying. She said, "We didn't even get to play a game. We didn't even get to play a game." And I said, "This is no the first cool thing you've done in your life. This won't be the last cool thing you're doing in your life." So we died together. I'll never forget that moment because I felt really, really bad for her, even more bad than myself. And I did feel when I got back to the hotel an immense sense of guilt because I wish I had counted. I wish I had just said, "Okay, I'm fucking counting," like not her. I also got screamed "fuck you" by you know a couple, maybe 100 people or so. Because they didn't really know what happened. You don't get to see the instant replay. You don't get to press rewind. You don't get to watch in slow mo when you're just living it. So a lot of people didn't even really know what happened. I had to explain myself a
So why
lot
were
of
you the
times
target out of 205 or 405?
because they thought I had gotten up to sabotage our room. They thought they didn't know of our pre-existing agreement that I was going to get up and I said to her, "I'm going to come back to you when I'm at 400, just so you know where I'm at." They didn't know that. They thought I was trying to sabotage the room for some weird reason, and they thought that's what set off the events to us losing. Oh, They thought I
Mm.
had some ulterior motive or something like that,
He thought you was a
which,
plot device.
dude, it's so weird. I did interviews later and they said, "How did you feel about your mission?" And I went, "Mission? Am I still in the game or something?" And they're like, "Oh, never mind." And I was like, "What?" So I'll never understand what they meant by that. But I had no mission. I just wanted to see our team win. I got tackled, face hit the ground. That was not fun.
Who tackled
Um,
you? Do you know who tackled you?
it's so funny because the guy's actually really nice, but like if you were to see him, you'd be like, "This guy is not nice." He's like tatted head to toe. Like even he doesn't have hair. Like he has his head shaved and he's got tattoos everywhere. I don't remember his name. Maybe it's John. He was actually a really nice guy. He was like super chill, but like if you were to see him, you'd be like, "Oh shit, that guy." Um, so I got tackled by him. And yeah, got tackled, got humiliated, got. But here's the thing: is like if net, I would get it tackled 1,000 times to go back. I don't care by NFL linebackers if that adds anything. I People complain about the food, people complain about the dorms. I would if it took me being in the dorms for 100 days and eating the food, I would do it. I don't care. That's how committed I am. I don't think a lot of other people have that type of commitment. I pretty much, half of the year, the last 4 years, I've committed my life to traveling and staying in hostels just to meet people and understand different cultures. I stay in hostel bunk beds, which are repulsive sometimes, super uncomfortable sometimes. I don't care. I'm so committed that I would do it for 100 days, but if need be.
That's inspiring, coach. As I stayed in a few nasty hostels myself, and if you willing to do any of them, shoot, you better than me. I had to step in a hostel once and walk out the room. I'm like, I can't do it. This ain't Squid Game anymore. Well,
It's sad, it breaks my heart because, you know, not always, I think the most prepared and most dedicated people should always, you know, they're the people who are prepared. They should have the best chance. But unfortunately, in this scenario, just wasn't the case and comes down to luck sometimes. And I will forever be heartbroken until I get another chance. Hopefully, one day I will. We'll see.
hopefully one day, man. Hopefully it's coming, man. I'm gonna pray for you. I already voted for you too, man. Shout out, JT in the building. So you finish out your time in London. You get back to LA. Tell me when you get back home. Now, how you feeling?
So I was feeling absolutely deflated. I had to stay an extra 2 days to do interviews. The first night, everyone's getting wasted at the bar. It's hilarious. Then eventually it's my time. One of my friends, Anthony, coolest dude ever, he was like, "Yo, come travel with me." And that was my plan. I was like, if I get out, I'm gonna go travel. I love travel. But I was so heartbroken that I was like, I just want to go home. So I went home and I was supposed to have this whole week off of work. No one expected me back that early. I probably slept like, because I slept almost zero the entire time I was there. I was so locked in and so excited. I got home and I slept like 14 hours a day, which I sleep very little. As the founder of a company, I always have something to do. I sleep 5 or 6 hours a night usually. I slept 14 hours a day. I was truly heartbroken. They said if you ever need anything, reach out. And like I talked to one of the producers, a really nice guy. I think his name is Gareth. He was really, really encouraging and really, really nice. So I'll forever thank him for that. But I'm such a linear and logical person that when you have a problem, you solve it. Or when I have a problem, I solve it. Like, for example, I was gaining a couple pounds earlier this year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym every day. Or like if oh fuck, I'm having this problem with business, I'm gonna go to the end of the earth to solve it. This is a problem you can't solve. There's nothing anyone can say to make it better. It's similar to like I died in Squid Game. Like I relate that to almost like real death. Like not to get all soapy, but when my dad died a couple of years ago, there was nothing anyone could say. Like people would be like, "What? Oh, is there anything I can do? Anything I can?" People would say, "Oh, I hope you feel better," or "Is there anything I can do to help you?" I'm such a logical person that there is nothing you can do to help me because there's no bringing my dad back. And so similar to Squid Game, when I died, that world, that dream was over. And so there's nothing anyone can console me with. I just needed to sulk and be pissed off for a little bit, fortunately.
Yeah, no, that's important. I mean, you get back and you have this empty feeling in your stomach, like just something's wrong, and then, you can't talk to your friends about it. You can't talk to your family about it. You can't, talk to anybody about it because except people on the show that also got eliminated because it's a unique feeling that is just like you got robbed. Especially you know, you guys, you got definitely got robbed, and you have that kind of FOMO aspect of I should still be there, and that's all that's on your head, and it's like, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be here. You had these visions going into the game, and this is so far gone from what you expected to happen to where it's completely it's like an out of body experience to where you just feel like your body's here, but you not here. And so I definitely understand, you know, what you're going
You
through.
know what's so crazy is going on Squid Game like sparked an insane spiral of horrible events in my life, which is insane. So I get home and my friend's like, "Eat your favorite food. Let's take you out to dinner." Like, because my best friend, she knows how I'm feeling. She knows I'm like really not into it. Really feeling bad. And so she's like, "Okay, I love escape rooms. That's one. I'm a nerd. Okay, fuck it. I love escape rooms." They're like, "Let's go do an escape room." We go to an escape room. Escape as usual. I've never lost an escape room in my life. And I'm like, "Okay, that was pretty fun." This is like I think a day or two after I got back. We're driving home and 2 blocks away from my, best friend's house. Drive down the street, taking a left, a car's speeding like 100 miles an hour down the road. I'm like, oh shit. I jump out of my seat, jump onto my other friend's lap. I'm in the back seat. We get not T-boned. The exact seat I was sitting in gets smashed to fucking smithereens. We spin out a bunch of times under the on the other side of the road, crash onto like the lawn of an apartment building. I like immediately kick out the door, grab my friend, take them out of the door. I stumble onto the sidewalk. This girl comes screaming like, "Holy shit, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "If you're fine, then why is your face covered in blood?" And I was like, "Oh shit." And I looked down and blood was pouring out of my face. And so I was like, "God damn, I shouldn't even be here right now. I should be at Squid Game." Yeah. And it's been I can't even I went to a witch and she told me never to say those words again, but BL like bad something. I can't say those words anymore in my life, but it's been a BL type of year. So for me, at least.
Oh, that's crazy, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're okay though, you know, and hope your friend's okay too. That's crazy. I'm sorry. That is life, man. And it's, I mean, yeah. And then all you can go through your head right now is, I wouldn't even be in this circumstance if it wasn't for some stupid outcome that came through. And unfortunately, like you said, nobody can change that. Nobody can fix that. I remember, you know, quickly when I got out, I was like,
Yeah.
"Can I just?" They're like, "Can we help with anything?" I'm like, "Can you get me back in the game?" Can you put me can you put me back? That's the only thing that's gonna make me feel better. And they're like, nah, I don't work. I'm like, look, then don't talk to me. Well, I had to get escorted out by myself in my own separate car because I punched a wall when I got out, and they was like had to separate me, and it was pretty ugly. But yeah, I mean, it's
Feel like me. That there's not
yeah,
yeah, there's put me back in the game or
yeah, and the only thing that I guess it can heal is time. You know, obviously time heals all wounds, but you know, it's just it took a long time. It took a month, I think, for me to kind of fully just get back to normal and really got focus on other things rather than think about. Once I found out the show was over and everything was settled, then I could move on better. Same maybe with you is like once it's over because you know, you hear everybody, all your friends in the game talking about this and that and that and this, and you're like, ah, I can't listen to this. It's
yeah.
driving me crazy. Well, that's crazy, man. So can you tell me, as of now, I guess, what's the biggest lesson you learned from being on Squid Game, the challenge season two,
Hmm.
if there is one?
Life's not fair. No, I actually, it's not something that I learned from Squid Game, the challenge season two, but something that more, Squid Game, the challenge season two reinforced. My whole life, I never traveled anywhere. I got on a plane once until I took the leap and got a scholarship to move here to LA, and I still never had traveled anywhere. It took actually 4 years ago, maybe almost to the day, is the first time I took an international trip. And since then, I've become so obsessed with going new places, meeting new people, and doing new things. I think what Squid Game: The Challenge season two really reaffirmed for me is there's so many incredible people out in this world, and like I think people live lives where they're a little closed off or stuck just where they are. So I encourage talk to someone new, give someone a smile every day of your life. You never know where that's going to lead you. Some of the people that I met in the games are like some of the most humble, some of the most gracious, some of the most fucking hilarious, funny people I've ever met in my whole entire life. So I think people are incredible. It gave me hope and humanity from meeting the contestants. It crushed my hope and humanity being eliminated.
This man needs to write a poetry book, man. He needs a poetry channel. I'm ready for he never. One thing I know about you already is you never have a problem with an Instagram caption. That's always just gonna give you right then, and you ain't gotta write it down. You ain't gotta think about it. It's just right there. I gotta write mine down sometimes ahead of time for me to post. I'm like, all right, I got that. I got the song I want. Boom, we good. You ain't even a thought. I got it already. Well, that was incredible, man. I'm glad you get to break everything down. You broke it down better than any other zero or O that I've talked to. No offense to the other O's, but he broke it down the best.
Thank you.
And it really painted a beautiful picture in kind of the chaos, a beautiful chaos of what happened. That should be the next Instagram title. If you post another Squid Game thing, beautiful chaos. That could be the caption. And I'm glad we got to, meet the other night. I tell everybody on my channel what I be doing and where I be going. So I told them I was going to this Philly, I don't know what you would call that, reunion, gathering, Squid Game gathering and whatnot. And I met a whole bunch of y'all, and y'all are great. Y'all are way more wild than
Rager.
we were. Way more wild, like way more wild. And so, but y'all are great people, great energy, great vibes, and great times. I only had only found two people from y'all season that might be a little against each other, but that's it. I ain't gonna mention on camera. I'll wait for them to talk about it. But this was amazing, man. I'm glad we got to sit down and get the whole breakdown of what really went down.
Hey, so happy to share it. I'm happy to. It's funny, this is the only podcast I've done, probably maybe the only podcast I'll do. Like I don't know, unless more people really want to hear the story, but there's so much more to Squid Game than our little O debacle. They only gave us 13 minutes of what was a couple hours of Animal Kingdom chaos.
We need to see it, man. We need to see it. Just like I always
Yeah.
tell them, release the red light, green light footage. There's a lot of footage they cut. Y'all need to release the O footage. Hashtag release the O footage.
People love behind the scenes. It's like that's a real draw. It's like, even cut it up into shorts. You guys, okay. Man, as someone we do social media so much, you want so many views on this show. Cut up some behind the scenes footage as shorts, and that shit will go off.
We'll go
Don't even
crazy, man.
release it on like the Netflix app platform. Just social, and people will fucking eat that up.
If Netflix, I'm telling y'all, if you're listening, if you put a paywall on the behind the scenes footage, y'all will double y'all revenue and y'all stock will go flying up. You stole my idea. Here's the idea right here. Take it, use it, because I would buy it, and then I would tell everybody else you gotta buy it, unless you restrict me from sharing it or whatever. But you get the point. Netflix, get to work.
You know what else, DeAndre? I just thought of it. Their revenue is gonna triple if they put 332 me back on season 3 because I'm so unhinged. There
Exactly.
you
See,
go.
come on, we giving y'all the gold. Come
Steal my
on,
idea,
y'all.
Netflix. Steal
See, you
it.
can have it. You can have the credit too. We didn't even know what we talking about right now. That's y'all idea, not ours. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Well, Jacket, this was great time. I'm glad we got to chat again. I'm looking forward to next week, and it's gonna be lit, man. So keep your head up. I'm excited, and rally them votes, and yeah, let's make it shake for season 3, Coach. Because you got some more things to practice. I guess you got to practice your communication skills. That's the only thing left, I guess, to dealing with the specific people. I mean, everything else is A1, but you just got to finish that last part, and it's you Thanos in here. So
Oh, you already know I'm training. You don't have to ask me twice.
well, he's already on it, Netflix. He's
I'm
already
already
on
on it.
it. Well,
Yep.
thank y'all for joining and watching. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, y'all, peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your day.